What are some common forms of sexism that men face? I saw a young girl who was clearly lost in a grocery store. She was backed up against a shelf crying and had been there for a few minutes, no sign of parents. I went over to her to see if she was okay and to try and help her. I've got kids. It was pretty sad to see her so scared, so I knelt down to talk to her and held her hand. Down the aisle stormed loser mom and store security shouting at me, asking what I was doing, and told me to get my hands off the girl. I was so mad. I've never seen a woman be treated that way. They made me feel like a criminal for trying to help. If that's not sexist treatment, I don't know what is. Flying by myself, and as I was walking toward my seat, I'm a woman, the air hostess loudly asked if I would swap seats with a guy around the same age as me, early 20s, because we can't have single men sit next to unaccompanied minors. Guy looked super nice, but I will always remember how embarrassed he looked as we shuffled past each other to swap seats with everyone staring. I wish I had more confidence at the time to say something to the airline. I was pretty much raised by my mother and older sister. It was very common for them to use sentences that started with, "real men." I figured out that it was a means of bullying and manipulation because how they directed it at me. When I'd get bullied to tears, I'd be told, "Real men don't cry." When they wanted to take something from me, they'd say, "A real man gives anything to a woman." When I was asked to do something that required a lot of strength, and I struggled, I was told, "A real man could do it," so on, so forth. It really sucked. My mother has a lot more respect for me now. I still get the "real men" spiel from my sister when she wants something and doesn't want to ask respectfully. I'm normally very calm and pacifistic by nature, but those two words directed at me negatively makes me irrationally angry. Not being trusted around children. I fear for any day that I'm in public with my niece and her parents aren't nearby. Little kids can become emotional and are too young to understand the ramifications of shouting something like, "You're not my dad," when they get told something they don't want to hear. Hell, I freak out at times being with my own kid. I'm taking her to Florida for camp in June, and it'll just be her and me away from home for 9 days. You're for damn sure that in my wallet or on my person will be her state-issued ID and pocket birth certificate. It's a sad state of affairs, but I'd rather have that on me and not need it, than some idiot raise the issue and not have any proof that she's my kid. No help for domestic abuse. Or it just gets laughed off and people don't really care. I've witnessed that with my father. The sad thing is this problem begins at a young age. When you're a kid, specifically a boy, you get taught that there's no way to win when fighting a girl. If you lose, you get laughed at for getting beat by a girl. But if you win, you get booed for beating up a girl. Speaking from experience, in the state of Virginia, if 911 is called for a domestic dispute, men are automatically arrested regardless of who is the one perpetrating the violence. I spent a night in jail because my ex-wife was drunk and high and decided to beat the shit out of me while I was sleeping because she thought she could hear me dreaming about other women. Try explaining that to your reporting supervisor when you're in the military. That made for a very awkward conversation. Then it made for an even more awkward time in court. My husband, a father of 4 girls, regularly gets security called on him if he is seen taking his daughters to the bathroom alone. It has gotten to the point where he won't go out with the little ones without me with him. That sucks. I'm a single dad. I take her into the guy's bathroom with me when it has to happen and cannot wait. When a guy or security says something, it's usually greeted by another guy saying, "Hey, he's letting his kid take a piss, back off." I know that feeling. Whenever I take my 3-year girl out, I have to take her to the toilet, and I've gotten questioned or followed a few times. I had a woman wait outside the male toilet until we came out and started questioning me on if I was her parent, then tried to ask my little girl if she needed help. I leant in close to her so my kid couldn't hear anything and told her to fuck off and leave my child alone, or I would call the police on her. As a man, 90% of the people who have told me what a real man is are women. Why should they be able to say that? Imagine me going around telling women what a real woman acts like and expecting them to comply to my standards. That's obviously not okay. Let women figure out what it means to be a woman and let men figure out what it means to be men. We must be swift as the coursing river. Really disgusting seeing this continuous expectation that men have to go along each day with all the strength of a great typhoon. As a woman, I don't think it's too much to ask to be mysterious as the dark side of the moon. Also, as a woman, I fully expect my men to have all the strength of a raging fire. I am frequently disappointed. Parenting is simply referred to as babysitting. Bullshit attitude, that is. My close friend's wife died in the last 6 months. He has had many a mother at the park say "daddy daycare today," referring to his 2-year-old. The 2-year-old he now has to raise on his own. I live for the day he has the balls to tell them the real reason he's at the park with his own kid. Jesus. For 7 of the last 8 years I've had my daughter on Mother's Day. The things that women have felt okay saying to me have been sometimes unfucking believable. Her mother will likely be giving me primary custody within the next few months. I can't wait to hear that shit full time. Can you give us some examples? I can imagine, but I'm just curious. It's just the same old shit. Oh, daddy's giving mom a day off? Special dad day. How sweet. And as far as holidays go, it's constant inane questions. What did you do for mommy today? Is mommy at home having a special day off? Where's mom? It's so absurd to some people that a male could be the primary sole parent that you're automatically discounted as the inferior partner, even when there is no partner to be compared to. And you're the bad guy if you say anything, because they're not being rude by being nosy and prying into a stranger's life. It's you being rude by being offended at that. When they are victims of sexual abuse or domestic abuse, it often isn't taken as seriously as when women report their experiences. It's not really taken seriously at all, much less taken as seriously as female victims. People hear that a man was sexually harassed, assaulted, and they go, "Oh, well, it's okay, because men are constantly thinking about sex anyway. He should welcome that attention." Think about that. It's okay if a man is assaulted because he wanted it anyway. Almost that he was asking for it. Familiar? Plus, most won't say anything in the first place due to social expectations. Was raped by a woman back in the day. Can confirm that men don't say anything about it due to social stigma expectations. Men have the thought of, "Dude, you got laid? Stop being a little bitch about it. I wish I was raped by a hot chick." No, you don't. It sucks. My wife and I decided to hire a male nanny. This decision causes me, my wife, and the male nanny to experience a whole range of uncomfortable situations. Because we live the Pacific Northwest, a lot of people assume we're a polyamorous couple. We're not. Some people assume that me and the male nanny are a gay couple and my wife was our surrogate. On the first day of school, for example, my daughter's teacher introduced us as her daddies, even though she had met with my wife on multiple occasions beforehand. Others just can't wrap their head around the fact that a man might want to work in childcare. I can't tell you how many warnings we've received, even from within our own families, that we have to watch him closely because it's not natural for a man to want to work in childcare. He must be a pedophile. When it comes to raising children, men still face an enormous amount of sexism from all sides. It's funny that they accept a gay couple or polyamorous couple easier than the idea of a male nanny. I'm a male nurse in the ER, and there are a lot of extra rules I have to follow that the females do not. If I am doing any kind of perineal care, Foley, straight cath, pelvic, or even rectal temp, on a female patient, I need a female chaperone. However, a female nurse can go do those same procedures on a male without a male chaperone. The looks I get from many elderly patients when I tell them I'm their nurse. Those judging eyes. I had a guy straight up laugh in my face and tell me my parents must be embarrassed by me. What the fuck? Mothers freak out when I'm the nurse for their child. I had a lady straight up tell me I couldn't help drain her daughter's armpit abscess because she thought I'd be eyeballing her. No. Literally none of this happens to the female staff members. And frankly, I am a much better nurse than quite a few of them. As for the males out there considering nursing, don't let this deter you. It is becoming more and more uncommon to get badgered. Nursing is a great profession. Male nurse here as well. Can confirm everything here to include, your parents must be embarrassed. I hate feeling like I somehow have to justify my career, but fuck it. Yep, and I did 3 tours in Iraq before that and found the stuff my medics did as interesting. Forgive me for being inspired. It's that or something super sarcastic, because, fuck me, right? What are some common forms of sexism that men face? Leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.